Well, good morning and welcome back. We've had a short 15-minute break between sessions. And Aaron from Thinkific, Aaron, do you know we've got 16? Like, how weird is that?
I was actually just talking to Greg about this, the CEO of Thinkific, and I was saying, I'm seeing Linda today, and he was excited, so.
It's really, really great. So for those of you who are tuning in for the first time, this is the Course Creators Circle Summit. We are here for you for the next couple of days presenting information. We're here up until 1 p.m. Australian time today, coming in every hour with a new session. We are going to mention tools along today. If you scan the QR code on your screen or click on the link that I'll pop in very shortly, you'll be able to get started. Now, Aaron is a community manager, learning development manager from Thinkific, and he has been there as long as I have and remembers ice cream themes and those sorts of things that we used to remember from the world of Thinkific. He has seen many, many changes in the course creation industry. He's an amazing expert, and I am going to hand it over to Aaron because you can hear my voice is going from my session to talk to you about delivery methods for you and your course. So Aaron, thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome. I really appreciate it, as always. I love talking to your community. They're one of the best out there, hands down. I always get some really great questions about Thinkific and about course creation, so please keep those coming if you are watching here today. And if you're watching in the future, if you're watching a replay, feel free to get in touch with us. You can email us at hello@thinkific.com to ask any questions about us or about course creation, and we'll get in touch with you. I see some people saying hello. Judy, hello. Dorothy, hello. Please let me know in the chat if you're here and where you're coming from. I always like to see an international audience. I'm based out of Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, here at Thinkific HQ. I've kind of secluded myself in an office here so I can focus on y'all today. Hi, Stacy. Thank you so much for saying good morning. So this presentation here is going to be called How to Deliver Your Online Course in 2023. So we're going to be talking about different delivery methods for online courses that we're seeing across the board at Thinkific. And we're going to focus on not spending thousands and thousands of dollars or hundreds of hours just trying to figure it out on your own. Okay, that's the goal here. And because we love go-getters, we're going to have a special free gift for you at the end of the presentation. That's going to help you unleash your genius and multiply your impact this year. So stick around till the end if you can. If you can't, I'm sure there's going to be a replay so you can catch that then. All right, so I'm just really curious right off the bat, how many of you are currently using Thinkific? You can type in the chat, 1 for yes, I'm on a paid plan, or 2, I'm on a free plan, or 3, I haven't signed up yet. Just let me know in the chat. Kat's here from New Zealand, Stacy from Sydney, watching from Glasgow, Dorothy. Good morning from Melbourne, Julie. Wonderful, awesome. So we have a couple of people on paid plans, people on free plans. Okay, great. I haven't seen any no signups yet, so that's good. But in case you are in that group, Thinkific is free to use. So you can go to thinkific.com to check out Thinkific, explore that a little bit more if you haven't signed up yet. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so in the next little hour here, half hour, I'm going to show you how top creators are delivering online courses so that you can have a clear path forward for your first or your 100th online course this year. My name's Aaron. I've kind of introduced myself already. I've been an educator here at Thinkific for about 7 years now, which has been really exciting. And I've also worked with lots of people on the Thinkific platform, either directly or through my own online courses on training.thinkific.com. And I've helped thousands of people launch online courses. I've also watched people launch their courses. I'm a big data nerd, so I always go in the back end and I check to see what people are doing. I get in contact with them and we have chats. We've filmed a couple on our YouTube channel as well if you want to see those interviews, but I've learned a lot. So I'm going to tell you the top 3 ways that delivering online courses this year. So this is what I'm expecting to see more of. And the first one is I'm expecting to see more people offering those free online courses. And this could be to grow your following or just to build your brand, but free online courses are definitely making a comeback this year as lead magnets. So you can do challenges, you can do summits, you can do mini courses on Thinkific, and you can also offer free previews or introductory courses. People are also adding these courses to their existing offers or coaching calls as kind of like a value add to raise prices, or just as a value add in general to help them stand out from the crowd. I think a good coach combined with a really good course is a really powerful thing. So we're going to be seeing a lot more of that. A couple of the benefits: a lot of people don't want to sell or don't want to give away their online courses for free. I totally get that. But when you create a small free course, it does a couple things for you. Number one, it's going to help you grow your email list or your following. And it's definitely going to help earn you trust and motivate students to take action with your products. So we like to think of free courses as like the ultimate entryway into your sales funnels. It's going to help people get started along that path with you, get into the practice of learning with you, and it's going to help them understand what kind of value that you can offer them very quickly through a premium product. It also helps you stand out from the crowd. So there's a lot of worksheets out there. There's a lot of ebooks and stuff like that. We're going interactive now, especially short form content. If you can have shorter videos in your courses, especially your free courses. And Miss Excel does a really good job of that. If you want to see a cool case study on our Thinkific blog, just look up Miss Excel. She has some wonderful courses out there. It also helps you raise your prices, like I've already mentioned. And I wanted to show you that if you haven't used Thinkific before, creating free courses with Thinkific is super, super easy. So I'm just going to show you a quick example here. So on our site here, this is my example site. You can go to course-site.thinkific.com if you want to check it out. But don't buy anything because it's not a real site. We have some courses here, but right at the bottom here, we have a 7-day career prep challenge course. And this is one of the best things that I can tell you to do, is setting up a very short-term, live, if you can, or evergreen challenge within your Thinkific website like this, a 7-day course to help people get started here. I'll tell you a quick story about Entrepreneur on Fire. Entrepreneur on Fire is a podcast, and they put together a free course like this. And they chose to do this because a lot of the people that were coming into their flagship programs, their coach programs, were really not prepared. They didn't have a business idea, and they were business coaches, or they had too many ideas. So what they did was they had a 7-day kind of experience that was automated, and it would help them go through the process of picking one big idea to double down on. So these are all free here. If I go ahead and click this, it's going to take me into the next stage. And like I said, this is a really good entryway into your funnel. So with Thinkific Payments here, you can add order bumps, and you can create courses that are, normally $500 and have a special discount as a one-time offer within the checkout itself here. So if I go ahead and click that, it suddenly changes from free into a $300 sale, right? So that's awesome.
Aaron, can I pause you for a second? Sorry, Don. We don't have Thinkific Payments in Australia and New Zealand. We're not eligible for Thinkific Payments yet. So just for those looking at it, just a slight heads up, because it's one of those things.
Yeah, don't worry.
So I'm just letting our guys know that, yes, if you're seeing something that we don't have, we don't have it just yet. But Peter keeps telling me it's on the way, Aaron. When's it coming to us?
Oh, we're working on it as fast as we can. So without the order bumps feature in Thinkific Payments, I'll show you what you can do instead. So if you don't have this in the checkout, what you can do is, I'm just going to set up an example student account here. And I'm going to bypass this with a coupon just so I don't have to pull out my credit card right now. Okay, let's say I complete the purchase here. So we have another thing in Thinkific called the after purchase flow. So I'm going to quickly set a password for my new student account. Complete setup. And so this is an opportunity for you to upsell as well. So if you are on a free course, if you create a free course, or even a paid course on Thinkific, there's a tool called after purchase flows within Thinkific. And you can redirect customers to pages like this, where it has more of a sales page experience. So you can actually go into detail about what the upsell actually is. In a way, it's a little bit better than that upsell in the checkout if you need to explain the benefit of a course. If it's something that's really easy and simple, like a template or something, that order bump's better for that. But this is great for offering coaching or offering another course on top of this. So if we go ahead and click start course, Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So that's great
Yep.
for memberships. And then you can go ahead and make more money off of the sale. So don't worry, I got your back in Australia and New Zealand. Even without Thinkific payments, you can use after purchase flows to make.
I quite like the after purchase flow. It converts. We do it for some of our memberships in here, and especially with freebies, upselling works really, really well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll quickly show you, because you're all Thinkific, as it sounds like. I'll quickly show you where to find that if you haven't come across that yet. So if you go into your courses here, so I'll the course that I had that on here, Career Wayfinder. And I jump over to after purchase flows. You can see here that I've created one called cross sell. It's for the prices of my course. So it doesn't matter if they pick a payment plan or the full price. And then I go ahead and select destination. And there's options here like thank you page, course player, and custom URL. And so what you'll want to do is go to custom URL, and then you link a page. And this page can be hosted anywhere. If you're using ClickFunnels, if you're using WordPress, it can be hosted anywhere. But obviously, I chose to build a custom page out on Thinkific to send my people to. The only word of advice, the word of caution, I would say, with this is that you should have something like this, where it says start the course. You want to make sure that you have a start course button on that page. All right. So I kind of jumped the gun there, but I'm going to be talking about creating flagship online courses. And this is nothing new to you all. Creating flagship online courses, usually what we see with Thinkific is people creating self-serve masterclasses. So the new thing that we've seen over the last year, and we've done it ourselves over the last year and a half, we've had about 2,500 people run through these types of courses, is cohort-based programs. So I'm just wondering, let me know in the chat if you already run a cohort-based program or something along those lines. But the difference here is like a self-serve masterclass, content is available evergreen. There's no timeline for students to take the content. And so students are really self-directed. But what we've seen since 2016, Linda said that we've been in this for a while.
Yep.
We've seen student completion rates pretty low. We've seen student completion rates kind of tank out with these kinds of courses unless there's a really compelling student experience. And it's hard to do that outside of a cohort-based program. So we did it ourselves at Thinkific. We've seen lots of customers do it as well. And the difference here is that content is typically on a scheduled drip. Students are within a set cohort. So we might have 500 students in a cohort or 50 or 5. Doesn't matter the size there. And then students usually receive support via email or coaching calls, group coaching calls, or private community spaces. So that's like a big
really
difference.
Valuable.
Sorry, what was that, Linda?
Cohorts are really valuable. And for those thinking with cohorts that you need to recreate that evergreen course or that master course that you've run, you can take that evergreen master course that you've already got and run a cohort or take a cohort through the Kickstart and give them the rest of that content. We do that regularly here for the students who need that engagement. Okay, we're going to run you through the first 2 weeks, components of the Course Creator Circle, or we're going to run you through this, and we take them through that cohort with that live-based training, and then we leave them we get them kickstarted, basically.
Right. Yeah, that's the smart way to do it. You want to repurpose that content as much as possible. So the top creators on our platform are not creating new content every single time for everything. That's just too hard. They're solopreneurs like you. They're entrepreneurs with small teams, maybe a VA or something. There's no time for that. So the idea is to think ahead to get to this point and say, I want to run a membership or a cohort-based program. So what I'm going to do is, and this is what we did at Thinkific too, like we're not unlike you in this way. So my team, we put together a live course. We did 8 weeks of content live, no pre-recorded. We took that live content, we cut it up into videos, and then we ran the next cohort with those recordings. And then we polished those recordings into professional, money spent on it kind of videos after the fact. Because at that point, you have something that's validated. You have something that students can actually, students have gone through and they've given you feedback on. So that's kind of like how you would get there over time, in my opinion. But of course, if you're an educator out there, you know what you're doing, then you can just jump right in and start making that evergreen content to go into this cohort program. So I'm going to show you around a couple ways to set this up in Thinkific. If you haven't already, I'm just going to show you through a couple of those things I talked about here, which are drip schedules, cohorted students, coaching calls, and a community space. So jumping back here, I have this all set up already here for you as an example. If I jump into this course, so let's say I've already purchased this course here, which you saw me do. Here we are. So we're in the course now, and you'll find a few things here that we've added to Thinkific in recent months. So first of all, you can link out to a community that's hosted on Thinkific from within your course player as well. So if I click on Go to Community, that's going to pop me right into a student group with a kind of like a Facebook groups kind of thing. Let me know in the chat if you already used the communities feature, if you checked it out. I'm also curious to know if you have any questions about it, because it's still relatively a new feature for us. We've done a lot of updates to it, but we're still looking to see, like, what do you think of it so far?
I won't hit you up with my wish list now. You guys know it.
Yeah.
Look, communities are great for our memberships. We've been running it through our memberships, guys. It's been a really handy way for them to get that one-on-one contact with us. So even if you're thinking about cohort-based, taking your evergreen course, adding a community to it, adding that access, adding in some regular calls, that's a really good way of being able to do it. And running a live cohort that comes through. Communities are also really handy. I'm sorry, Aaron, this is my passion project. You know it. Communities are a really handy way to bring in, maybe run a challenge and keep everyone else in the community in the fear of missing out of, what do you mean I'm missing out on this particular event over here? Or I'm missing out on these sections as well. It's really, really good to bring those components in. Dorothy's one of my students. She's been building her training out with communities. And yeah, communities take a bit of time to focus on. So we'll give you that. Sorry, Aaron, I'm taking over. There you go.
No, I love it. So I just wanted to show off a couple different things that we've added here recently. One of them is these upcoming events. So this is what's going to separate your flagship self-serve course out from a cohort-based course. So typically, there's a couple different types of events. I've set up 2 examples here. Typically, we do something like a kickoff party, and you can set this up in advance in Zoom or whatever kind of meeting tool, Restream if you want here, and you can create those directly in Thinkific. And as a student, you can say, hey, I'm interested in this. And then you can receive some updates about when it goes live. And then office hours are another thing that we do here at Thinkific in our programs. So this live coaching, kind of like what we're doing right now, but over a series of weeks and a regular group of students. So you start to get to know each other. And you can do all kinds of fun stuff in Zoom. We've done breakout rooms, those kinds of things. It really brings people together. And that's one of the big key learning moments that we had over the years at Thinkific was that, and I'm sure you'll resonate with this, is that doing course creation, doing online business is really lonely. There's not a lot of people out there, your friends, your family, they probably don't even know what you do. You probably have to explain it a couple of times to them. So if you feel like your students are in that space with you, you should make these communities and start to build them and put your face on the front of them so that people get to know you. And like Linda's done with BBB, fantastic fantastic community, wonderful group of people, and you're coming together as a team, right? So you can do that with your people as well with this communities feature. So just jumping back here, I'll show you again. There's other things that you can do here to translate your evergreen course into a cohort course. So for example, we have our content here, our presentations, our audio and whatnot. And then we have our live lesson here. So these live lessons can also be hosted in the course itself. It doesn't have to go through the community. I like doing both because then if somebody gets into the course, they can find it. If somebody's in the community, they can find it. And this is all powered by Zoom as well. So these are the live lessons.
Aaron, we just have a quick question from Julie. How many people can be registered in a community?
Yeah, so with a community, I don't believe there's a limit. There's a limit on some of our plans when it comes to how big the community can get from spaces. So I think there's a 10 space limit, and these are the spaces here on the left. But for the amount of people in your community, I don't believe that it's limited at this time. So you should be good there. I know here at Thinkific on the Thinkific Academy, I think we have like over 500,000 people in one of our communities. So we're stress testing on behalf of the team on our side of things. Yeah, it works great. Yeah, Julie, great question. Let me know if you have any other questions about it. And Dorothy, I see that you did the communities training with Thinkific. Dorothy is referring to some training that we have on training.thinkific.com. This is the website I mentioned earlier, which we need to get Linda as well. We need Linda in here.
Build a. We need to line up the time zones.
It's right. It's all time zones. Yeah. So this Thriving Communities course is a free course on training.thinkific.com. That'll go way more detail I can this session.
Yep.
Yeah. So finally, I think drip schedules were the other thing there, but I'll just jump into the back end to show you what it looks like in case you're wondering. So this is the same course, but from the back end look. So on the first chapter here, we have our kickoff party, which I've created. If you want to create something like that, you just have to add lesson and then click on live lessons. Now you'll need to integrate with Zoom. We have a really fast one-click integration with that. But once you do that, you can start setting up Zoom meetings and webinars from within Thinkific. You don't have to go between the two tools. And you can even do recurring live lessons. So I usually set my live lessons up as office hours every week, like that. And then it'll create all the lessons and I can just put them into different weeks.
Have we got recurring events in communities yet?
I don't believe so. That's definitely on the list. But that will be very shortly done. The communities events.
Because not all of us are Zoom users.
Yes, for sure.
And look, guys, there are a couple of things that you can. I personally use Google Meet, but when we ran our last rather large summit, we used Restream like this, and we embedded our Restream links directly into our course. So you can embed Restream directly into the course, so the live stream goes directly into the session, and people can watch from there as well. So there are numbers of ways that you can deliver a live lesson coming through that area. But we're a Google family here, so it comes with our storage. Yeah. So therefore we use Google.
Yeah, no, we are too, actually. We use Google Meet, which is, I thought it's a great tool. They've added some really cool features to it over the years too, which I appreciate.
I know, and we've got emojis and celebrations now. I'm so excited.
I know, it's so exciting. I love that. As soon as we had an all hands company meeting here at Thinkific, and as soon as we found that feature, it was like nonstop emojis. It was a lot of fun. Right on. Okay, so let's finish up here. I want to get to Q&A so that we have lots of time for that too. 3, nothing new here, surprisingly, right? These are the mainstays for any online course creator. So, I hope that's not anticlimactic to you, because a lot of course companies out there, a lot of course platforms, they say, this is the new thing, you got to get on it, right? But we know that these things work. And the last thing, especially in the end stage of where you have some content already, you're comfortable with your content production skill set, your membership subscription offers is going to get you out of that boom bust cycle of launches. You've probably heard this before, so I don't want to go too far on it. But when it comes to what a membership typically is on Thinkific, we typically see something like a regular content drop mechanism. This is like Patreon subscription, kind of, where you have courses released on a monthly basis or whatever basis you wish. And you can charge that recurring monthly subscription to retain access. Let me know if I'm preaching to the choir here. I probably am. But the new thing that we're kind of seeing here is we're seeing more creators lean towards community first memberships. So one of the big things that we did for this year was we tried to make it as easy as possible to start selling your community access. So if I go down to communities here, and let's go to our Ladder Climbers Mastermind here. I'm going to edit it from the back end. So you're going to see in your community setup now, you can actually start setting subscription payments, one-time payments, and monthly payment plans for community access instead of access. You can still tie it all together if you wish, but if you want to sell your community separately, it's totally possible now. So it works just like anything else in Thinkific if you're integrated with Stripe. So we could do $19 a month with a free trial period of 7 days just to see what the community's like. Go ahead and save that. And then they even come with their own sales pages. So if I jump over to the sales page, it's going to give you a basic template that explains everything, and you can add to it just like everything else in Thinkific. So let's say, you might have a countdown towards a promotion for getting into the community. So we can say get 10% off until April. And then April comes around. There it is. And so people know that there's, so the sales page is just like anything else here. And when you click that button, you go through the checkout process just like any other course and get access.
Beautiful. Stacey's just said to us, communities her first plan with a Zoom integration, which I think is an amazing way of doing those sorts of things. Aaron, just a quick question, because I know Stacey's operation, so I can ask the question for her.
Oh yeah,
this is fun when I know. So if we do a live lesson inside Thinkific,
yep,
we're still going to have to link to a live lesson inside the community, aren't we?
So if you make your live,
so we have to put the
yeah, no, it's a good question. If you make a live lesson inside of your course, it won't be connected to a live event in the community right now. You can create one or the other or both. It just depends on what your setup is.
Yeah. Julie, I know Julie's operation too. So she's saying all of our value can be put into a community that's a subscription, and that sounds like a winner. Look, that's where we do everything, guys. We do everything through Course Creators Circle, which we've got the free Facebook group, but then we've got the VIPs, and we come in, and mainly my community is, yes, you've got the structure of how we create courses, but you've also got the Q&As with me once every 2 months, and you've got the how-to sessions. And then my marketing circle members, well, they get the whole lot. They get the Course Creators Circle, all of those sorts of things, and they meet with me. Now, there's actually an add-on to that one, though. It's really handy. COVID brought this about, Aaron, and it's really funny. It's still here. There's an add-on. So they get everything. They get how-to sessions with me monthly. They get Q&As with me monthly. They've got access to ask me questions on a regular basis. That's their thing. It's basically allowing them to poke me and ask questions, but without having to take full service marketing or course creation coaching along the way. The add-on that got added onto this one, it's something that everyone can think about when we talk about order bumps, is I had members who wanted more. They wanted to meet with me once a week. Yeah. For 30 minutes. They wanted that mojo kick in the butt of, hey, you got to get your marketing done. And so best thing I can say is listen to your students. It came about because of COVID, because of how lonely everyone got, but it stayed, and it's an extra revenue generator that, now ticks over with a monthly figure that we just never thought.
Yeah, that's
so I just added that on.
Yeah, huge add. And what you're saying about listening to your students is so important. So Linda, how do you collect that information from students? You just talk with them one-on-one, or do you collect it through surveys, or
the group sessions? So the group sessions, the stuff we've been doing here, like this, and we talk about free courses and running stuff and doing all of those sorts of things. That's how we learn what our students want to do. You turn up, and Aaron was talking about delivering your course live first and then working it out. That's the best lesson you will get in the course creation journey, because your students don't hold back in telling you where the gaps are. They will tell you where the gaps are, what pieces they needed to do. But it also, as course creators, we forget what we already know. Prime example, Aaron's going, Thinkific order bumps and all of that sort of thing. He knows that, but he didn't, we didn't know where things are in Australia and that sort of stuff. But prime examples, we forget what we already know. And that's when people want to learn more from us and learn more stuff. So it's those questions and those I not think about, why do people don't know that? But they're the stuff that, if you haven't watched this morning's session, we need to include in our course plan. We need to include in our module outlines, because our second nature stuff is what we should be teaching first. Dorothy's got a question for us. Can you set up a Zoom link in Thinkific for a live lesson and put the same link in the community event section? So yes is the answer.
Yeah, short answer is yes, you definitely can. Yeah.
And I most probably would, Dorothy, because the Zoom link's going to take them directly through rather than linking through to the lesson. My post-live process, guys, too, if you haven't thought about this, and you've got to think about your events, when you're putting people into memberships like this, remember that you've got reminders going out that this event's going to come out. You maybe got chat. You've also got, because if you want people to attend live lessons and they need to see value, they need to be reminded that value is there for them. Also, to the point that, once you put the replay up, let them know the replay is live. Let them in the way. And when we're talking about independent learners and especially, there is stuff that pops up that demand stops them from being able, along with your membership, those weekly tips, the updates about what's happening, being able to allow them to add the event to calendar. So that they can add their own event to their Facebook calendar. He knows. I've been nagging.
Yeah, totally. I want it too. So I think one of the greatest things that's happened recently is at Thinkific. We've been way more active in creating our own courses and building these training programs out. And you're going to hear about another program coming up soon there, so keep an eye out. But the greatest thing is, like, I can just walk over to the product team and say, I want this, Linda wants this, everybody wants this. And it's made it a little bit easier. But for the ad event, what tool do you use, Linda? Because I can share.
Is one of the options, but okay, so most of my communities, Aaron, as you know, have been built on Facebook groups. So Facebook has the ad event calendar, so we're just putting it through the Facebook group, through the community, and do all those sorts of things. We looked at ad event, which we do love, is a good alternative for it. I suppose we're just looking to reduce clunkiness, reduce where they've got to go to add different things. So from our point of view, the Facebook groups had the add to calendar option. It puts the meeting link in there still for members, and that's what we're aiming to do. But ad event is a very good option for everyone else. We did, as I said, we looked at it and then we went, are we redoing what we have to? And because my communities were already built in Facebook groups, they are lazy to move over to anything else.
Yeah, that's totally fair. Yeah, absolutely. I can kind of show you like what we do here. So we run our own, like I mentioned, we run our own cohort-based course. So typically what we do is we do like a bit of an overview or a breakdown of the program. I record a quick video talking about how long people have for things, and we do an FAQ as well. But that ad event, I like it particularly because you can embed it directly inside of Thinkific like this. Cool, so you can just click add event, and then it'll take you to Google. So I've been asking for this for a while, just its own thing inside of Thinkific instead of.
Hey, Aaron. One of those things that most of the creators that I know I spend a lot of time teaching is how do you embed something into Thinkific? So while you're here, let's do this.
I can definitely show you that. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
So let me here. So I'll pull up a course. All right. So when you're in your course here, you're going to add a lesson, and it's the most vague name for a lesson of all time. It's called multimedia. But what this does is it allows you to bring in the URL to anything out there, any tools, anything. So for example, you can have your ad event calendar, and then you paste the URL here, and then you just click save, and it's done. And it appears just like this. So this is the page here. So for example, I can grab this calendar link like that. So this page exists out there on its own, like this. But when I add it to a multimedia lesson, hopefully that'll work. Maybe I should have grabbed this one. And we go to the current lesson. So you'll see here, it's now within the course. So I have that session right here.
And for those of you who want to be a little bit more protective of your links and not get full URLs out, you can embed directly into the text lesson as well, especially if you're running a paid membership. Sorry, Aaron, I'm being a pain, I know.
No, that's perfect. That's great advice. Yeah, no, I love it.
Yeah, because if you're running a paid membership, you don't want the links to your paid membership going out to general public, especially if you're trying to count how many people are coming through.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah.
A text lesson is amazing for that sort of stuff, and there's codes and different things you can embed in. Booking calendars are another good one if you're doing cohort programs and coaching, for you to be able to deliver something a bit different. Kat asks, can you use Thinkific to send reminders of learners to attend live events? Text reminders and that sort of stuff. It's not built in yet, is it?
Yeah, no. So we don't have those in Thinkific itself. However, I can tell you at Thinkific ourselves, I gotta go to the App Store. There it is. So in the App Store, if you haven't been here, check it out for sure, because we're adding new stuff here all the time.
Yeah.
But these apps here are going to help you extend the features of Thinkific. So personally, here at Thinkific, we were using, before we switched over to HubSpot, we were using ActiveCampaign. And so I can vouch for ActiveCampaign for this kind of use case. How it works is when somebody signs up for the course, ActiveCampaign will track it, and then you can start to build these like email automations. I built up a really, really fast one that was just like you said, Linda, like 1 hour before the webinar, a day before, a week before, and then a replay. And it would all send automatically. I didn't have to do anything, essentially. Yeah.
And guys, you can use Zapier to integrate any mailing platform that you have, because I know a lot of our creators are using MailerLite because it's a very affordable alternative to be able to do that. You can use the Zapier integration to connect it through, send those nurture sequences, and making sure that you have got those nurture sequences going through, that people are tagged on a regular basis for their course, being able to get that in. Kat, in use case scenario that we used last year, it didn't work because our members didn't like it, but we used Acuity. So we used Acuity classes because, or Squarespace scheduling, because we use that for our coaching, and that sends all the text reminders and that. We use the class version of it, but our guys felt like they were getting too many text messages, too many reminders. So we stopped using it this year. But it was an option that you could set up an Acuity class that you would zap them through to. We zap them through. They would get registered in that Acuity class, and they would get all the reminders based off that. But they just felt like they were getting too much stuff, and fair enough. Once again, learn from your students.
Totally fair. Yeah, so there's exactly, learn from your students. So I'll show you again, like Acuity is similar to Calendly. So I can put my Calendly directly within the course itself too, with a multimedia lesson, and then students can book time. So that's a great way to add that coaching session. So you can jump in to that as well. There is an app. I think it's called. There's an app on the Thinkific App Store that allows you to book time with people as well, right?
There is. There are some amazing apps out there, and we have Rob coming in this morning to talk to us about delivering student experiences. He's up next.
Yes.
Surprisingly.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, perfect follow-up. That's great. We love that.
Perfect follow-up in the system today, isn't it? Guys, you have Thinkific Reed-Educator here. We have another 10 minutes before we need to jump off this call. Is there questions that you want to know about Thinkific, how to do things, all of those sorts of things? I know Aaron will be joining us for the panel, but think about it. Aaron, you did say you've got a special offer, so while we're going through that process, let's let everyone know about the special offer, why they throw out their questions at us.
Absolutely, yeah. So I just wanted to check in too with the group. Like, how do you feel about this? Do you think I did okay telling you how top creators are delivering online courses? Do you feel like you have a little bit more clarity on what to do next? Let me know in the chat. Got a cat saying thank you. Great option from Stacy. Awesome. Speaking of asking your students. Dorothy, yep, I'm on MailerLite. Request, can Thinkific please add MailerLite to the list of integrated options? Pretty please. And I'll talk to the team for you, Dorothy, please. For sure.
I want it too. MailerLite's automations are so easy.
I swear we used to have it. Did we not have an integration?
No, you had MailChimp, but MailerLite's integrations and automations are so easy to map, especially if you're one of the first people coming through. It is on the tool list, guys, that I've got up there for you. And for those of you starting out, you can start with a free account and you can still do automations in MailerLite, which is really huge. So it is on the tool list there if you want to go and grab it off the tool list. Scan the code. I'll put the link back in later. It is a really handy one. But oh gosh, now Aaron, you've got to see that. You seriously have got to see the MailerLite.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah. I mean, I really
one
like
of the best I've ever seen in my industry. 20 years in marketing, and I am in love with this thing.
Yeah. Cool. I'll definitely check it out. Yeah.
I took a $150 MailerLite bill and dropped it down to $30 a month.
Wow.
The MailChimp bill. Awesome. Yeah, it was huge.
Maybe we should go back to using creator tools for our email marketing. HubSpot's been great, but it is not cheap. I'll tell you that.
No.
Awesome. Okay, we got a couple people saying, getting my head around everything. Everything is helpful, although a little overwhelming. Very helpful from Stacy. Thanking you, Dorothy. Awesome. Yeah, so I think that a lot of people have what is called like the Dunning-Kruger effect after summits and presentations like this, where once you start to get a little bit of skill down, you start to feel very confident. But the overwhelming aspect is that valley in between where it feels like you're back to square one. So I want to get you over that valley. I want to get you to the point where you're an expert. So if you haven't started using Thinkific already, and you haven't started checking out our training and our community and all of that stuff, then I would highly recommend doing that. But at the end of the day, using the right tools, which we've been talking about a lot today, is important too. So I just wanted to share that, and I think you have this as a part of your tool set. But you get a 30-day free trial with Linda. So we've made sure that everybody is set up with a free trial here, so you can do all of those things. You can test drive all of these features if you don't have access to them yet. So you can create and sell the courses. Of course, that's table stakes, but we have those cohort-based features. We have the selling recurring subscriptions, and then we have the support, training, and motivation. That's all free for that on that 30-day trial. So we have that link at the bottom of the screen, but I think you have this as a part of your tool set, if not.
It's in the toolkit, but I'm just going to grab the link in for you now, guys, as well, so that you've got it.
Roger.
And you can jump in here and do that one. So here's our Thinkific link as well. It's in the toolkit link that you'll see on screen as well. And it's really, really helpful. Those who are overwhelmed, this is part of the process, but this is course creation on steroids that you're literally going through today. You've had me spurt how to put a whole course plan together. You've had Aaron talk about delivery methods. We're about to go into how to create student experiences. Break it down slowly. Okay. One of the options that you have on the link is to book some time with me. If you want to book a little bit of time with me, book in a discovery call and go, whoa, Linda, that was course creation on steroid. Take a discovery call. It's open for all attendees in the process. Click the link. It's there. Make that time and we can have a bit of a chat. We have gone through this. I'm going to throw Stacey and Dorothy and a few of them under the bus here who have already had a chat with me along that, and they can tell you what it's like. But the whole process this is a tough journey. Sometimes learning what you've got to learn to teach is tough. I remember how hard it was going through that process. Went through it. And as I was saying in my first session, if you saw the first course I made, well, actually, the first course I made was the Educate Your Market Challenge, which we did 28 days. And that's when Patty was telling you, Aaron, that I went live from my hospital bed. Yeah, we were getting ready to promote it. I came out of hospital and I made my first course. Because, that's what you do in my world. Yeah. But the next one I did was I took a 3-day workshop and I tried to make it into a course, and it was too big. Okay. So remember, and I say this to people when they're going through the course creation journey, if you're feeling overwhelmed, imagine how your students are going to feel. Break it down to a little bit smaller along the way, and it'll make it easier throughout the process. My fan club's coming out. Stacey recommends a call with me, and so does Dorothy. So thank you to my fan club. It's awesome. Okay, Aaron, thank you very much for joining us. We are at that 9:42 mark. If anyone else has any questions, please add them to the chat now. Or Aaron will be in the Course Creator Circle Facebook group checking out, questions on his session over the next couple of days, and he'll be joining us again for panel tomorrow, so we can throw some questions at him then. So feel free. Now, Charles has got a question, and I don't know if you can answer this one because I'm not 100% sure. VAT and sales tax implementation with Thinkific payments. Charles is actually based out of the US.
Yes. So Thinkific payments, biggest thing on the list right now is handling sales tax. So I can't give away any details on that, but I can tell you that the team is working incredibly hard on that solution right now. So it's top of the list.
So, shall we make a promise that we come back and do a session for the Course Creator Circle once payments and tax and VAT's ready to go?
I would absolutely love that. And if you haven't had Peter on before, I would highly suggest getting him on. He's the we call him the product manager here, but he's the payments
Can you
guy.
tell Peter that you're working my time zone, and I'll have him on?
Absolutely, he'll do anytime. He works as hard as you, Linda. Like he'll be there for it.
Beautiful. Set Peter my way, and let's get him in for an expert session in the Course Creator Circle.
You betcha.
Beautiful. Kat says thanks. She's learnt so much. Charles is asking for a launch date. I just don't think we have that yet, do we?
No, Peter won't tell me, but he's working. No. He's putting all the effort on it for sure. So it won't be.
And I know. Look, I can say from an expert, guys. We have a chat channel with these guys equally, and there is as much going on about tax. I've spoken to the tax team about Australian tax issues. They are seriously considering it and getting the integrations right. So it is definitely something they are proactively working on. Okay, I need to get off this session so that I can be ready to talk to Rob. We can bring Rob into you. We are doing a session with Rob on student engagement experiences that don't suck. So we will see you very, very shortly. Thanks, Aaron, for joining us.
Thank you for having me.